Hello and welcome to my knitting podcast. We've got a microphone. Isn't she stunning? I want to address something before we start. I am sick. I have been back to uni, classes haven't even started yet. I've been back for officially like 3 days and I've already got freshers flu. So this is a very exciting episode because I've got so many yarn acquisitions, and after my last episode where I said like, oh, I'm not gonna buy any more, my stash is already huge. I had my birthday and then I went to Unravel Yarn Festival, so that immediately went in the bin, but it's fine because I'm knitting at a rate which is slightly concerning. Like, I genuinely don't know how I've knit so much in such a short amount of time, but there we go. Okay, I'm clipping her on. I don't know how flimsy this is gonna be, so we'll see how it works out. Okay, so first things first, I finally finished my Chrysler top, which she is gorgeous. I ended up having to knit a size 1 or 2 for the body and a size 6 for the cups because I'm very top heavy. She's not blocked yet, but it's really cute. The cotton merino is so nice and the texture is really nice. You can see when I hold it up to the light, it looks like it'd be see-through, but when you're wearing it on your skin, like, it's completely opaque, like there's no issues. So I'm really happy with it. It covers my bra. The straps don't, but I'm really not that bothered about. I've got such long hair, usually my straps are covered anyway, and so I'm really not too bothered about that, and I think it's quite cute. I think it's a really good summer basic to have in my wardrobe. I know we're exiting summer and entering autumn, yes, but it's still really, really nice, and I'm sure I can wear it for layering, and it's more pink, which is obviously gorgeous. Yeah, I literally just sat down and in 2 days I kind of had decided I had enough of it, and I brought this, my Winnie sweater and my socks with me because I was home for 2 weeks in Wales. So I was like, okay, I want to get this done, and I knit it to a certain length. I always knit stuff shorter. It's not cropped on me at all, and I knit it like over 10 centimeters shorter. Like, if I'd knit it the length it is recommended, it would have been an actual dress on me. So I did a really weird combination of short body, big bust, small body, but I think it looks really cute, and I haven't taken photos in it properly yet, and once I'm not sick and looking disgusting I will do that. But overall I'm really happy with the yarn, I'm really happy with the pattern, I'm really happy with the finished garment. I think I would recommend it for the finished product. I found it was really, really difficult on my wrists because you're twisting stitches every other row, and it's rib, which already, like, when I'm purling a lot I find it messes with my wrist as well. So when I was purling and twisting stitches every other row, I found that it was like really painful, and I had to take a bit of a break after knitting this up because my wrists were quite sore. But all is fine, the top is done. I think it's given me like the hardest a summer top would be, and so now I feel quite confident going forward next year to do some more summer tops. And I've been looking at some more like tops to put under jumpers, but I'm undecided. I don't know what would be good for layering in the winter. Like, I know a lot of people have done the other loops twisted like tank top, but also I don't want to be basic and do what everyone else does. So if anyone's got any patterns they recommend for like a winter top that you layer with other things, I'd be receptive to that information. So the next finished object I'm so happy with, and they are my Clawsome lobster socks by Stone Knits. They're so gorgeous. I mean, I love this yarn. It's the Coop Knit Socks, yeah, and I don't know why, but I just flipping love it. I find this stretch even on like a colourwork garment is fantastic, and it's just really consistently good, which I love to see. The pattern's nice. I like the contrast of the colours. Now, we now have a kind of running joke in my family because this sock was the second sock I did, and it is perfect. Like, the lobsters look great. In the first sock I did a row where essentially where the tail is, you kind of go in to end the body. I don't know if you can see, like, my fingers are not working. There we go. Like, before the tail goes out, it kind of goes in again. And in this sock, there is a row of lobsters where I did not do that. And so they are now affectionately known as my fat lobsters. And honestly, I was going to duplicate stitch them, but I kind of love the fat lobsters. And so now that has become a thing in my family. And my mum made it a very big deal to discuss whether I was going to fat lobster the other sock. But I think I'm gonna, yeah, no, I'm not gonna fat lobster the second sock, it's already done. But I do love the finished product. I don't think you'd be able to notice from afar, and I'm quite in love with my little fat lobsters. The pattern was really good. I've never done a shorter heel before, and I really liked it. The one thing I wish I'd done, I wish the cuff was one lobster longer. I am used to heel flap and gusset, so I didn't know how big the heel was gonna be. And I think I thought it was going to be a little bit longer, kind of like a heel flap and gusset construction, but it wasn't, which is fine. And I love them, and they're going to be so cute with like dress shoes, or very cute with trainers or whatever. But I wish they were one lobster taller so I could wear them with my boots. But other than that, I'm very, very, very happy with them. And I'm just going to kind of take that forward into my next pair of colourwork socks, so that I know how tall I like them to fit outside of my boots. Now this is a very exciting one. I finished this like quicker than I finished the Chrysler top. I finished the Chrysler top first, but it took me more time to finish that than to finish this. And of course it is my Winnie sweater! Oh my goodness! This is the Winnie sweater by Woozy by Celine, and I think a lot of people know this pattern. It is chunky, it is fluffy, it's variegated, it's beautiful, it's so soft. It looks really stripy on camera. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my gosh, the dangers of working with mohair. So it's very, very soft, it's very lovely. I used the Malabrigo Rios in shade Peachy, and that was held with a strand of Isager mohair in, I think, shade 62. It's like the pinky one. The one modification I did do is I did like more of a balloon sleeve. So in the original pattern, it's like a trumpet sleeve, like it goes out. And I'm wearing my normal sweater, which was like one of the first colourway jumpers I showed. And it's just got this big sleeve, which is so comfy and so nice to put over pyjamas and stuff. But it's annoying as hell when I'm wearing it with coats. And it's annoying as hell when I'm trying to do literally anything around the house. I am very much a doer, and if I'm not baking, then I'm cooking, or I'm knitting, or I'm washing the dishes, or I'm doing something else. Like, I'm a very go person, and I find it really frustrating having big balloon bell sleeves swinging around the place. So I wanted to make something a little bit more practical, and I'd finished my mist sleeves by Garn Slicked, and I really liked the shape because it's obviously a purely mohair garment, so it gets a lot of air and like volume is very large. But because the cuff is tightened in, I find that I can go about my normal day and it's really not, like, it doesn't inhibit me as much as a sweater like this where like everything just gets wet, or it gets in the way, or it drapes, or it catches on a door or whatever. So this sweater was made to chill around the house, but to chill around the house and do chores. So I did my sleeve modification and I'm so happy with it. I have been wearing it non-stop at home, and I've worn it a lot since I've been back in Bath. So I was away for 2 weeks in Wales after I'd moved out of Oxford. Then I was in London for a week with my boyfriend, and now I'm back in Bath, and that is kind of like where I reside. So I'd finished those 3 projects, and that was all I'd taken home with me. And I actually started a pair of DK socks, which I'm not going to show because they're really ugly. But I will finish them and wear them and probably take a photo, but they're nothing special, they're just vanilla DK socks. And then I thought it was going to be really busy, which I was. So I just brought one thing with me to London, which was actually a test knit by Knitting for Rose, also known as Celia. I'll link the pattern. These are the Dahlia mittens, and they're kind of the stretchy like star flower pattern that's also seen in things like, I think, the Jenny jacket by Petiteknit. The yarn is really nice. It is drops alpaca and drops kid silk in shades red and raspberry respectively. So I had these left over from my Mabel wrap, and honestly it was a lovely pattern, easy test knit. They're really fun. I love the texture. I know colourwork mittens are very popular at the minute, but I've never really seen a textured mitten, so I really like the texture. I've already got someone in mind who I want to make a pair for again, so it's a pattern that I'll definitely go back to. And it was a really easy test knit. I really recommend if you've never knitted for her before. The pattern is so well written, and it's very, I think it'd be really good for beginners. Like, I didn't find it difficult to find what I needed. Like, there was quite a few pages which I would just skip through, but I'm honestly not bothered by that because it was really well structured and laid out, so I could find what I needed to find very easily. And if I wanted to skip all of the techniques, I could just skip straight to the pattern. A lot of it was charted, and if you know me, I love a chart. Don't give me all the waffle. I want to know, I just want to see the visual, and then I can kind of go away with that. So yeah, overall really good test knit, really cute product, really soft. Honestly, I know a lot of people say that the drops kid silk is really itchy, and maybe it depends per colour. I know a lot of yarns really differ in the scratchiness by colour. Like the compatible cashmere by Knitting for Olive, I feel like the darker colours are so much less soft than the lighter colours. So I don't know if it's like a dye lot or batch thing, or if it's a colour thing, but I find that this is incredibly soft, and I'm usually quite sensitive to scratchiness. I have no sensitivity to alpaca, and I find that really soft. So it might just be the alpaca being very soft, but I don't know, I just don't find them itchy at all. I find them really comfortable to wear. My boyfriend kept wearing them, and that was very cute. And so yeah, he approved also. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to whips. My yarn acquisitions are so exciting, I keep wanting to jump the gun and just do that, but I'm gonna be brave and stick with my whips. The first thing is actually something that I mentioned in my autumn 2025 knitting plans, and I cast this on because when I got to Bath, I did not realise how cold it was, and I don't think it's a Bath specific thing. I think it's just the weather is on the turn, and all of a sudden I felt like it was really hot and then it was really cold. So I've finished the first penny glove, quite boring but quite cute. Just like a basics when I'm typing or if I'm doing stuff, and my hands get so cold and my joints get stiff, and it's just a bad time. And especially if I'm in the lab early in the morning, I like to wear these, well, I used to wear these to work in the winter, so that I could, you know, go in kind of with my hands ready to go. And it'll be the same when I'm doing my final year project. I'm working on the second one, and she's got some progress. I'm almost ready to start the thumb increases. But yeah, really easy, really simple. I've just been doing it on the bus and like watching stuff on my phone, and I've had no problems with the pattern. Obviously it's Petiteknit, like there's not gonna be problems with the pattern. It's a strand of the Sandnes garn tynn gynt in shade, it's called like grey beige melange, and the mohair is Knitting for Olive in, I think it's just called cream. But I really like the effect, it's very cute. And this is how much I've got left of the tynn gynt. So I'm thinking I should have enough to make a scarf, because I've got another ball of this. I'm about, like, just about to get up to halfway with this fingerless glove. So I feel like the yarn usage is really small, and I'll definitely have enough to make a little scarf or maybe a headband. I've been debating which I'm going to do, but we'll see. So the next one is also something I mentioned in my 2025 knitting plans, and it is the Olga jacket by Petiteknit. So you can see it's really stripy, it's very cute. Everything's looking really see-through because the light's coming from behind me, but I promise it's not. It's nice and dense, and it's like very fluffy. I think it's going to block out really nicely. So yeah, this is just like the trapezium at the back. Not made much progress with it, but the yarn is really good, and I'm so happy with the colours. Like you can kind of see the different flecks, like it's a little bit speckled, and I just think it gives such a nice texture. It looks really fun. I feel like if I get it a bit dirty, it won't show as much, which is also really nice. So I'm really happy with that so far. The pattern is so easy, which is so nice, because just with moving in and stuff and getting back to the routine has been a bit of a, you know, overwhelming, and also getting sick has meant that I've just needed something very low maintenance. And so that was a really, I was just wanted to cast it on so badly. My first evening where I'd like finished everything, I realised I just hadn't even taken like 5 seconds for myself. So I stayed up until 1 AM knitting, casting on and knitting that. But you know, I slept better, and now I've got the starting of a cardigan, which is very exciting. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with it so far, and I'm excited to make some more progress. But I think it's one that I'm finding difficult to bring around with me because it's got 4 balls of yarn attached to it. So it seems like it's going to be an at-home knitting project, which is fine. I've got plenty of things which I can kind of take around with me. So I'm just gonna, yeah, work on it at home. Okay, so the next 2 projects tie into my yarn acquisitions because they're both, actually there's 3 things, which are all from new yarn acquisitions. So I'll go through these and then I'll go through the yarn acquisitions. So this is the first thing I'm working on so far. It is so cute. It's just a little sock cuff, and I'm working on the second one because I got this set of mini skeins from Unravel and they are very tiny, so I never know how much I use. So essentially I've knit to a certain point in this sock. I'm going to knit to the same point to make sure they're matching and even, and then however much yarn is left, I'll either just do some stripes or I'll add another design, but it depends how much I've got left and how much I'll need to continue. And then I'm just going to do the foot. I've got like a similar colour to a couple of these colours, so I'm just going to do like a striped foot, kind of Summerlee style. And this is Folkestone Harbour hand-dyed, yeah, like mini skeins for socks, and they're just so cute. I love the patterns. The patterns are from charts from the Summerlee Colourwork Cuff Club. I'm saying that right? I think my brain is not working. But yeah, it's from that, because I bought that. And so all of these are either like the gingham and the hearts are kind of things that I've just kind of improv'd myself. But the houses, the flowers, and actually the oranges are from the Stone Knits Charming Colourwork. I think they're called like the Vitamin C socks or something. So that's just a chart I've kind of taken from that as well, which is a book I've got. So I've just kind of mixed and matched a load of different things. And it was so fun. I really liked, I've got the Doodle Knits book, and honestly I feel like I'll kind of do that same kind of thing where you just mix and match a load of charts. I'd love to do that again because I found this so fun. I'd be like, ooh, what am I gonna do next? Like which colours? Like, it was so fun. And then yeah, like knitting it up and seeing it kind of appear, I found that really engaging. So yeah, I just need to get through the rest of this sock, and then I'm gonna do a heel flap and gusset on this, I think, because I think if we compare it, the length is like just a bit taller than this, and I'd like them to like pop out the top of my boots. Like if you could see the little houses over the boots, that'd be so cute. So I think I'm gonna do a heel flap and gusset, and also that that heel always fits really nicely for me. So I think I'm gonna do that. So the next project is very exciting. This is a double knitted reversible scarf, which is all Alice in Wonderland themed. I believe the designer is called like Lost Library or something, I'm not sure. I need to go and double check, and I'll put it in the description because I've got no Wi-Fi, so I can't check. But yeah, it's so cool, and it's like, it's not difficult to knit, it's just, it takes a lot of brain power to sit, and if you make a mistake you have to go back. The way it's done is essentially kind of like ribbing, but not. And you know, you knit in the front and then purl the reverse colour in the back. So if I had to do, like for this next thing here, if let's say it's a heart and I had to do another 5 stitches in blue, you do blue, white, blue, white, blue, white. So then on this side, it looks like there's blue stitches, and on this side, it looks like there's white stitches, which have been knitted on. So I am so excited. It's going to be a slow burn project. I'm not expecting to finish this, maybe even in the next year, because it's going to be really mentally taxing, and I've got a mentally taxing year coming up. So maybe next summer I'll get back into it or something. I like doing little bits and bobs here and there. But yeah, it feels absolutely gorgeous. The yarn is I'll get into in the video later, but it's really squidgy and soft and just lovely. So yeah, very excited to work through the rest of this. And my final work in progress is the Sari Nordland Book Club cardigan, a very small beginning. Again, I kind of had to, I didn't have to, I casted on a few different bits here and there because I was in one place and then another, and then I had the yarn but I didn't have the needles or whatever, so it ended up meaning that I've actually got quite a few whips now, which is kind of good because I feel like casting on is always the hard part, and now that I've got a few things casted on, I can kind of just dive in as and when I want something to do, when I've got some time in uni. And yeah, I've started the Olga jacket first because I just need something stockinette and like boring to kind of work on, and then hopefully I'll have some more time for the other kind of cabled things. I've not got much to say about the book club cardigan because it's so new. So let's go through my yarn acquisitions, which I literally can't wait to get through. This is the most important part of the video for me. So I'm going to go through in like chronological order. So the first thing was, for my birthday, my mum very, very kindly said that she would take me to a Welsh yarn shop because I've got no Welsh yarn, and she said she'd pay for me to get like a garment. So I'd had a look online and there were a few Welsh yarns. There were quite a few which were hand dyed in Wales, but they weren't Welsh yarn. So the first thing I've picked up, which is what my book club cardigan is made of, is this, which is pure Dorset down wool by Garlic Meadow Flock. And this wool, the sheep are like raised and bred within 10 miles of the shop and sheared and everything. It's spun at a mill, I think in Cornwall, but other than that, it's all very, very, very local to the shop, and I just thought that was so cool. So this is a 50-gram ball. It's like considered an Aran weight. It's got a very like neutral colour. I find that it's not as yellow. Like I made the Belle and Sebastian pullover in the West Yorkshire Spinners Jacob Aran fleece, and it's very yellowy. Like this is a lot more neutral and almost a bit pinky, which I think really suits my skin tone. It is a little bit more rustic. It's not scratchy, but I wouldn't want to wear it bare on my skin. It's kind of how I imagine the like Let Lopi or something like that to feel, where it's just a bit more rustic, a bit harder wearing. I'm thinking of kind of making the book club cardigan as more of a jacket as opposed to like a soft cardigan I'm going to lounge around in. Like this is something I'll throw over when I'm going outside. But the yarn is just gorgeous, and look at the logo. It's like a little sheep. It's so cute. And yeah, I've just never seen anyone, well, I've obviously never seen anyone knitting with this before. So it's something kind of rare and local, and I thought it was very, very cute. Next yarn acquisition is this, which is what I'm making my Alice in Wonderland scarf out of. And this is Glan Cambrian wool, and it is from the Cambrian Mountains, and it's a Welsh mule crossed with blue-faced Leicester. So this is in natural and this is in shale, and these colours are so cute. And essentially I picked out the Garlic Meadows yarn that I really wanted, and we put all of that in, and then I'd been given some extra money by my auntie very kindly, and my mum felt this, and I was kind of debating between the two, and she just looked at me and was like, we've got to get you both. So very, very, very lucky and grateful to have got this yarn. And it's just really nice that it's Welsh. It makes me feel a little bit like, you know, connected to home. And yeah, it's really soft. I never see Welsh yarn anywhere. And we're known for our sheep, which sound like, to me, I'm like, why are we not capitalising on the knitting community, Wales? Like, we need to get ourselves together because there is money to be made. But yeah, those are the 3 things I got when I was home, and they are so lovely. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the Unravel haul, which was so nice. I did it like as a birthday thing with my girls from Oxford who I was in like a little knitting social with. It was like 4 of our birthdays or something, so it was just really nice to get together, and obviously I'm not in Oxford anymore, but it was nice to see them. And let's go through what I got. First things first, these are the mini skeins. I'm going to try and show you best as I can, that I got from Unravel, which is, I think they're called Folkestone Harbour, and they're just like a typical, it's just called their sock. I think it's just wool and nylon. It's really, really nice. The colours are gorgeous. I find it really unstretchy. Like when you compare the socks, yeah, I find that is so much more stretchy than this. Like when I try and get this over my heel, this is the same stitch count as my lobster sock, and I find it really difficult to get over my heel at the minute, and I'm going to try and block it out and do some magic. And like I can get them on my feet eventually, but it's a bit frustrating that the floats just don't have as much stretch as the socks, yeah, because that's what I'm used to. But the colours are absolutely gorgeous, really fun, and I got to choose my colours, which I loved. They just had all of the mini skeins, and it was 5 for £10, so just picked up all of the skeins that I wanted and like tucked them away to knit out those socks. And yeah, they feel really nice, and I like they're almost more like a 2-ply, like you can see the texture, which is quite fun. And yeah, the colours are just absolutely gorgeous, and I love that I got to choose them. So the next one is an acquisition, but I didn't buy it, it was a gift. One of the girls got us some Cardiff cashmere and a stitch marker. I got a tiny glass bees stitch marker, which is like the cutest thing ever. And so I thought I'd mention it. I am gonna make a little red scarf. I have been waiting to make a little red scarf, and I had no excuse. And now I've got this ball of Cardiff cashmere, and it is the perfect yarn to make a little soft red scarf. I got for my birthday a secondhand navy Barber coat, which is just gorgeous, and I was like, oh, this would be so cute with like a little red scarf. And so now I've got the yarn and the scarf will be incoming, so I thought I'd mention that. The next ball is from the Fibre Co, and this is called And Make DK. And I got this because I was so intrigued by the blend of yarn. It's Peruvian Highland wool, alpaca, and linen. And it says 100% natural, sustainable fibres from renewable sources. It's got like all of the ticks for like good practices and fair trade. And the texture is just so interesting because it's really soft. It doesn't feel linen-y, but I guess maybe the final thing has a bit more, like it's a bit drier. So the thing I'm planning to make with this is like a little collar. I think Kuta Vikika has a pattern for one. I know there's loads out and about, but I just thought it was really cute and a nice kind of one skein project. And the yarn is just so nice. I picked it up and immediately was like, well, I'm gonna have to get this. And I didn't want to buy loads of balls, because even when you buy like 3 or 4 balls, like sometimes it's you're just short of something. So I thought, okay, there are plenty of one skein projects, so I'll just make a little collar or something like that, which would be cute. The next one was, honestly, this is the thing I'm most excited about. This is by the Grey Sheep Co, and it's a few mini skeins. The colours are adorable. I don't know if you can see properly because of the packaging, but it's kind of like a grey colour, a brown colour, a deeper brown colour, a more like mustardy colour, and then like a rusty orange here. And they are so cute together. And I really want to make a colourwork vest. I got a Fair Isle knitting book for Christmas, for my birthday, and I really want to make a colourwork vest. I think they're really cool and vintage looking, and I just think like they're one of those classics that will just kind of always be around. So I want to set myself the challenge, and it's fingering weight colourwork, which for an entire body of knitting is a lot, but also I think it's more manageable because it's a vest, so it's like literally a third of the knitting if you were doing a full like jumper, so it seems a little bit more accessible. But yeah, I'm not going to cast that one on for a while because I've got to finish all of these projects first. But yeah, they were such a cute little shop. Again, like British farming, sustainable and ethical, and yeah, they're just so cute. I loved the colours. It was honestly, the hardest part was choosing which set to get, but I just thought I really want a classic looking feral sweater vest, so that was the best one to go for. Now, something I'm gonna hold with that to make the body of the vest, and I've done the calculations and this is actually enough yarn, which is amazing. I didn't actually buy it with this plan in mind, but I'm very glad that the like quantities kind of work out. But this is a company called Nelly and Eve, and this is 75% blue-faced Leicester and 25% Masham, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, colours inspired by the landscape and seasons of a Welsh mountain, naturally dyed by hand in Wales. So it's kind of got those ties to Wales, and I saw it and it's so soft. It looks like it'd be really rustic when you look at the colours, and it looks really natural looking, but when you feel it, it's so soft. I don't know what the hell they've done to it, but it works. And I just thought like these together would be so perfect in a feral kind of pullover. And so yeah, I saw this and I just had to get it, and it just kind of works out well that it makes a sweater vest. And the final thing I got at Unravel is this skein of mohair. Look how stunning, look how stunning. A moment for the mohair. The company is called Moonlight Fibre, and the colourway is Blackberry Picking, which, I mean, come on, that name is to die for. It's 300 meters and it's 75% Surrey alpaca and 25% silk. Now this was in the sale. This was in the sale bin, and I touched it and could not believe how soft it is. So it's like a purple core, and then the alpaca is grey. So it has a really nice texture, and I feel like it'd be really cool in like a scarf or something, like, or maybe like a small shawl. I don't know, like I am looking up some cool mohair patterns, but it just looks so nice. And it's, I don't know if I want to hold it with something or if I just want to let it shine, but it's honestly, it does say it's a lace weight, and it is, but the alpaca is so like, it's very juicy, it's very squishy. So I guess it could be held as something a little bit bigger, maybe like a light fingering. So I don't know, I'm gonna explore Ravelry for some cool mohair patterns, and I know there are tons. I've already got a few saved, but I just saw this in the sale, and like, how can you not? It's so gorgeous. And I feel like the madness of Unravel does like kind of take you just get gripped by like buy stuff. So yeah, the capitalist greed was definitely present with me that day, but it's okay. So that was everything. My whips, my acquisitions, and my finished objects. I am so sorry if this video is kind of delirious. My brain has completely given in functioning, but I've had a good time, so that's the most important thing. I hope the sound is okay. The microphone is still alive and with me, so it should be fine. And yeah, I hope we love the new space. But yeah, that is everything. If you've got any pattern recommendations for any of my yarn acquisitions, or if you've got anything that you want more information on, give me a comment. I'll try and put all of the names and descriptions of the yarn in the descriptions, so that if you want to check something, you can check it in there, or if I didn't mention something, you can check it in there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice rest of your week, and I hope you don't get sick. Bye!